Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
And the budget will balance itself.
Do I have to sue CNN?
Legacy doesn't mean nothing. I'm gonna die and it's gonna be over.
Welcome, it's Hergidius. So there has been a roar across X and among the woke right in general that President Trump supported the H-1B program in a recent interview with Laura Ingraham on Fox. Here you see President Trump celebrating Diwali in the White House surrounded by his Indian origin appointees and consultants in his government. I can't imagine anything making the blood of the American woke right boil more than seeing this take place right in the Oval Office in the White House, knowing there's nothing they can do to stop it. Here's the clip from the interview in question that has recently sent the woke right reeling.
Have to talk about it, Laura.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well, I'll give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
And here's the glorious Cope on X.
In the first term, we're 10 years in. And you still have these people, I hate to say it, but they're just like in denial. And they're like, okay, everybody, let's all go on Twitter and let's tell Trump, don't screw over your voters.
And here's the post from that retarded cuck, Tyler Oliveira. America landed on the moon 20 years before the H-1B program even existed. Don't give me this bullshit about America not having enough talent. Abolish the program and invest in American youth. And here's my reply below it. I couldn't help myself. Yeah, the only reason you had a rocket program that could even make it to the exosphere, let alone space, is because your country literally saved and imported Hitler's rocket scientists 25 years before the moon landing. The team was led by von Braun. I like this other response below mine that says, America has talent. A lot of it comes from the kids of H-1B parents you want to shut out. Keep coping, baby. I do want to emphasize that President Trump has been consistent on this issue. On 4th September of this year, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, carried out a large-scale enforcement operation at a battery factory being built by Hyundai Motor Company and LG Energy Solutions in Georgia. Approximately 475 workers were detained on the site, of whom about 300 plus were South Korean nationals or contractors working at the plant. The workers were described in some reports as being shackled during the operation. In response to a question from reporters, President Trump stated, I would say that they were illegal aliens and ICE was just doing its job. The incident generated diplomatic concern. The government of South Korea stated it was deeply concerned about the detention of its nationals and emphasized that the rights and interests of South Korean citizens and business operations should not be unfairly infringed. ICE officials said that detained individuals were in a variety of situations. Some had entered illegally across the border, some came in under the visa waiver program or B1, B2 business visitor visas, but were prohibited from working, and some had overstayed valid visas. I think this was a huge failure on part of both the American and South Korean governments in not working to allow the legal entry and stay of the skilled Koreans needed to establish this plant. And here is President Trump's statement on this event soon afterwards.
Have the Koreans asked for any visa guarantees after that immigration raid in Georgia?
You know how I feel. I was very much opposed. Look, when they come in and they're making very complex machinery, equipment, things, they're going to have to bring some people in, at least at the initial phase. In that case, it was batteries. batteries are very complex, and they're actually very dangerous to make. You can't just pick people off an unemployment line and say, we just, opened up a $2 billion battery factory. So we've got an understanding. And this is with the world. By the way, this is not just with South Korea. This is when they come into our country. We have a lot of factories being built by foreign interests. When they come in, some of these factories make very, very complex, very highly sophisticated equipment. They've got to bring people in with them for a period of time. They'll teach our people how to do it, but even for a fairly long period of time, they're going to need expertise to be successful. And we're going to let people know, I'm letting them know right now, that when they come into our country, we can expect to see them bring in with them some very talented people that have been doing it for many years. In this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people to do, complex things.
So President Trump knows of the need to fill the skills gap in America with foreign talent. And El Presidente isn't just some schlub off the street. He's a skilled professional that has been doing high-level business and real estate development for over 40 years, both in America and abroad.
Donald worked for Fred Trump every summer, saw what his father did, saw his father's own business practices of pushing everything to the limit, always at work, always looking for the way to make something that was profitable.
The combination of Hyatt and the new hotel, which is going to be spectacular, something that New York has never seen, with elevators on the outside and atriums and the largest ballroom in the city. We feel all of these are going to combine with really potentially the best area in New York City, and probably New York City's most important area, the Grand Central area. All of this is going to combine to make probably the most successful hotel, one of them in the country, we feel.
The inauguration ceremony was his first contact with the new mayor of New York, Ed Koch. With the success of the Commodore deal, Donald Trump burst onto center stage of big business in Manhattan.
Where did you get the incentive?
Well, I don't look at, really in my case, necessarily incentive. I enjoy what I'm doing. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I look at it as being somewhat creative. I think I thrive on what I do. I enjoy what I do. I like what I do. And it's not that I'm looking for anything, I just enjoy it. When I get up in the morning, I'm excited about the day.
Also, let's put the total number of H-1B workers into perspective, as James Blunt did succinctly in his post here. 700,000 H-1B workers have somehow become the villains in a country of 330 million. That's 0.4% of the workforce, 0.2% of the population, a rounding error turned into a national crisis. Can you spot it? If you don't see this as an attack on illegal immigrants, I don't have anything left to say. In closing, the point I want to make is that the woke and entitled right-wing Americans are screaming for closed borders and for American jobs to only be for American people. But the thing is, they only want closed borders in a way that favors them. Trump concluded trade agreements with the EU, South Korea, Japan that requires hundreds of billions or more from each of those countries invested in America. That means international companies like Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, SoftBank, and other firms to bring their business from outside of America's border and into America's border. Not only that, but here is a table of America's biggest firms arranged by market cap on the Nasdaq 100, which are heavily dependent on exporting their business abroad. As you can see here, the top 10 companies are Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, Broadcom, ASML, AMD, Intel, and Adobe. Two of these mega monoliths, Nvidia and Alphabet, were founded by immigrants, and all of them have their key infrastructure along their long histories developed by immigrants as well. Also, the point I want to note here is that the continents these countries are operating in, they're all operating in 6 continents, meaning every inhabited continent in the world and most of the world's countries. Of course, this doesn't even include all of your food and clothing apparel franchises and companies, which are also truly international. For all of these American companies, America itself is just a single, increasingly smaller market segment. So if you on the woke right really want to close America and only have American jobs for, I'll just say it, white Americans, then start by closing your own country to international commerce and investment from abroad. Go ahead and see what happens then. Also, it would be nice if your government kept your military close to home instead of launching global wars like the one based on the lie of WMDs in Iraq in 2003, and now possibly another one against Venezuela, which likely has more to do with its oil and far less to do with a few odd drug speedboats. If you enjoyed this broadcast, like and subscribe, and let me know what you think below. I'll catch you next time.